Hey there, Valkyr from Aetheric Forge here again. I'm going to continue on with something a little bit differently today. I've been talking a lot about building resilient architecture and disaster recovery plans and backups, and that's really boring stuff because when you're a software developer or architect, you just want that stuff to work. And so that was kind of the purpose of the demonstrations that we had done to that point. Now we're going to step back and do something a little more fun and talk about actually building software. So this was actually where the whole idea of Aetheric Forge started with was, modern architectures have increasingly difficult constraints, especially when you're working in regulated industries. And even, if you're just serving, 150, 200,000 customers, you scale up past that, and you really, really, really want something that makes all of those things, something you don't have to think about. So, we had an idea for, what does our public-facing website look like? What is it we're trying to deliver here? What sorts of concerns do we want to make go away? And those initial concerns went into Aetheric Runtime. Now, Aetheric Runtime is actually pretty straightforward. It's a tech stack. It chooses, reputable and solid open source components for various parts of the stack. We have a database in PostgreSQL, from the cloud native vendor. We have MongoDB for document storage, for document-based projections. We have RabbitMQ persistent streams to store the incoming event stream, and so on and so forth. As a developer, though, you just want to think, okay, I just want to project this incoming event into my document store or something like that. So that was what runtime it wanted to accomplish. And then as we started running runtime, we realized, well, infrastructure is going to be something that that we need to, really think about, because we don't want to think about it again. And I will tell you, it was a great deal of pain, many failed experiments, which is why you do architecture first. You want to put yourself in the shoes of the guy running the show, who has to do the operations, who's picking up the pager at 3:17 a.m., who gets alerted, who's responsible if things go wrong, that sort of thing. And of course, solid practice disaster recovery playbooks. So the runtime was the architectural problem, but that brought about these operational concerns that we wanted to kind of abstract away into a common substrate that just works. And so enter Platform. We've talked a little bit about Platform. I demoed it in my previous video. This is the operational architecture. The goal is to make this governable and auditable. This is meant to be serious enterprise software, and it has the features you need to stand up to serious scrutiny. It is auditable. It is transparent. Like the logs and of what's happening are very very comprehensive. You have your GitHub history of who made changes when. You have the Argo CD logs to say that, yes, I pulled this new thing then, and so on and so forth. Most importantly, it's reproducible. If you're in a situation where you need the recovery scripts, you certainly don't have time to be debugging them as well. This is where practice comes in, continuous improvement, lessons learned, and so forth. And the goal here is you want the platform to mostly operate itself and only interrupt you when, okay, something is wrong. I need a human to have a look at this. So now that we've kind of externalized all that, we put it in GitHub, and it just kind of incrementally improves as we need it to, we can kind of come back to the software here. So we have runtime running on Platform v0.8, and I wanted to get my website up. As I increase the visibility of Aetheric Forge, It's just a simple website. It's a Razor website. I'm a C# developer. I'm very familiar with C#, and I jumped on Blazor very early on. Blazor WASM is a very, very good solution for creating a front end that has enough features to do an event-driven architecture. React obviously is a very good choice, and I'm sorry, I'm not much of a front-end guy. I don't know too many others, but the idea being that you want a rich framework that you can develop event-driven front-end applications in to keep the back end updated. So that's it kind of for this section here. I'm going to continue on in this video with a few other things. So we talked about, what is the runtime, why does the platform exist, and how does the web use the architecture. So we're going to go and move into the next episode here and look more in depth at the Aetheric Runtime, what principles went into it, what were the goals of it, what can it do right now, and what do we want it to do in the future. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye now.